What's up? Today we're going to get to a few signs that might indicate you may be emotionally guarded in seeking relationship and connections. First, you struggle to trust people fully. A person I was talking to, he said, I have trust issues. Well, that's not going to do any good because I'm here, I'm showing up. And if we are not starting to trust one another, if you can't trust me, or if you don't think I'm trustworthy, or whatever's going on, that is a strong indicator that you have struggles trusting people. You struggle trusting another person because maybe there was a lot of disappointments, or you put too much of yourself out there, and you for some reason, maybe desperation or attention for validation, and that person, they disappointed you, or they didn't show up the way you were showing up. It was a one-way street. So you're guarded, you don't trust. And sometimes it takes one time for a person to be like that. Sometimes it takes a few times for a person to develop that wall of distrust. Another sign is that you feel uncomfortable being vulnerable. And being vulnerable is a very, an intimate thing, right? And I can empathize with people on the dating scene. People, you tell somebody something in confidence and private, and then by sundown, it's on social media, it's on TikTok. People just got your business out there, and you're like, oh my God, I can't trust that girl. I can't trust that man. And so I can understand why vulnerability is such a touchy thing because of how social everything has become. So be vulnerable, but be very discerning on who you are vulnerable with. You want to make sure that person's trustworthy, honorable, and has integrity, and has a track record of honoring your vulnerability, your privacy, things like that. So it's very rare to find really good people that you can trust. Another sign is that you try to stay in control of all situations. And this really springs up from people that you couldn't depend on, whether it be family, friends, job, or an associate, coworker. Like, you said, hey, we're going to do this, we're planning out XYZ, and you couldn't find anybody, or you were there for them, and then when they couldn't come through for you, you're like, well, I just might as well do it myself. So I think a lot of us go into that do it ourselves mode. Or maybe your mother or father had a bad relationship, and they tell you, well, you can only depend on yourself, so get to that money. They tell you to depend on yourself, have full control of the money, of your situations, and you have options to leave, So that neediness to control is because you don't want to feel out of control. You don't want to fail. And that is a protection. That is a protection guard your body is telling you to do. That's your nervous system response. I cannot trust. I cannot be vulnerable. I have to rely on myself. I can only trust myself. But in reality, there are people out here that you can trust. You just have to let that guard down just enough to be vulnerable enough to let them in and love you and to help you in your situation. You could be drowning up to your nose like, oh, and still trying to be like, oh, I still got it. No, that just, it don't work like that. A lifeguard is not going to see you there drowning in the middle of the sea. Now you wave and say, come and help me, come and help me. And then when they get up to you, you're like, well, I got this under control. Clearly you do not. So we have to be really logical sometimes. And we have to be discerning and be logical and prove that person. Ask questions. Okay, cool. And if they're proving themselves to be trustworthy, then maybe you don't have to be in control all the time. You can let things go. Start easing away, getting your feet off the brake. Okay? Ease up, okay? Don't stop on the road. You don't want to stop. You want to ease up, okay? So you can start moving forward. That is the most important thing, is to start moving forward in from being guarded to emotionally available, and less of the emotional guarding, okay? And you find it hard to receive help. Let me be honest. This used to be one of my biggest pitfalls in my personal life, because I figured that, I had, the dependability problem, okay? Certain people, I just couldn't depend on them. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do it myself. So even though I may be overloaded and I'm burning out, the bottom's falling out, my brain's frazzled, I'm overwhelmed, but I said I bit down harder to try to get things done. But in reality, I needed to delegate help. I needed to delegate some work. I needed to talk to somebody that knew something better than, me. I'm sitting up here typing up hours and hours trying to figure it out on my own. I can rely on my own. When you can just ask somebody that is knowledgeable, it takes nothing from you. But I learned that asking for help is a game changer. It is, because we do need help. The people in the AA meetings, they have to admit that they need help before they can start their process of opening up and that true transformation. And this is the same thing. We're on a feminine journey that nobody showed us. And we have to admit that, I tried doing everything on my own and the results got me burnt out, crying, depressed, alone, not knowing really what to do. But we're here. I'm here with you because I've been there. And you gotta learn first to ask for help. I need help. I don't know how to be feminine. I don't know who I need help. I need a little bit of guidance so I can start to open up, so that that girl on the inside, that woman on the inside, can heal and bloom into the woman you were always meant to be. Stop delaying it, baby girl. Stop. Don't delay anymore. Because your big sister's here, all right? These patterns, sorry, I'm reading. These patterns don't mean you're difficult. Okay? These are things that you just learned and you built up walls over time. So that's your first go-to defense. Reacting in a certain way, stiff arming because of the disappointments. That was how your nervous system was trained to protect you, to be guarded, right? And that usually means you had to protect yourself, like I said, emotionally at some point in your life. And life be life. Life is hard. But how you get up, how you move around, how you resolve, heal, is very important because once you start having children, now you may teach them those guarded ways. But them guarded ways don't benefit anybody. They're not even benefiting you. The best guarding that we should have is discernment, not being emotionally unavailable. Those are two different things. Okay? One way is moving with purpose, attention, alignment, and the other one is moved out of fear. We're not fearing anymore. People can sense there's something wrong, or they just avoid you because I don't want to deal with that. No, we don't want that no more. That's not what a feminine woman represents. She represents discernment, wisdom, nurture. That's where we want to go. Whew, that was deep. Okay, that was deep for me. Okay, that hit home because once you recognize the list that I just laid out and how you've been moving in that way, you can start to gently change them because you gotta crawl before you walk. I'm not asking you to go cold turkey to be this Stepford wife. No, we're not doing that because we're all different. But we all can have, as I said, those feminine traits because you are a daughter. God made you fearfully and wonderfully. And He sends help, divine helpers to help you. I'm my sister's keeper. Our paths are all different. Some are similar, some are different. But the main goal is to be the best version of yourself and represent that femininity that you didn't know that was inside of you because you've been guarded for so long. But you don't have to be guarded as much anymore because we're going to gently change that around, gently change our mindset, gently change our heart. And those all will change our actions and how we show up in the world. And people will say, well, something different, something's different about how Susie's moving. She was, all uptight and didn't want no help last month. But now she's asking for help. She's pleasant. She's bringing donuts to the office. People notice when there's a shift because you glow, you move different, you speak different, you act different. And that's how we're going to move here on this channel. So if you found anything valuable today, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I will be dropping some links in the description to some free books that I have developed that will just help you. Something that you can read, because once you read, you're getting new knowledge. You're changing your mind, and you're changing that mindset around femininity and how you view yourself. And we're gonna do it. Okay, 2026 is a year I claim that's new for you, and claim it for yourself. I love you. See you soon.